Okay, welcome to today's episode. My name is Tom Rolley for System.io, and let's begin with the problem that you may be struggling with. That most likely, if you're good enough to get this level, that you've actually got team, you're past the point of working out how to market and sell and advertise and fulfill, but you're actually running into major team problems. Now, this can look like people fighting. Like your team's like, hey, he told me this, she told me this. They say, no, I told you this, you did this. These constant fighting about whether the job was explained properly, whether the job was done properly. And you can have meeting after meeting and KPIs, but you've got to get down to the root problem. Like, why is this happening? Why does it continue to happen? Why do your team not know what to do? Or rather, they do know what to do, it's just not done consistently. It's just not done to standard. And so there ends up being these fights. This leads to you having some serious problems. And one solution might be, hey, I'm going to get rid of the problem person. Now, I want you to think about this. The problem person, how did they end up being a problem? And is it in fact them? Or is it something else that's going on in your business? Because if you have been through this, you might find that in actual fact, you're getting a repeating pattern. That you fire your team member, your problem team member, and you begin anew, hiring, bringing on a new person. And then 3 months, 6 months later, guess what? It's back. The problem team member is back. And you might go, well, maybe it's the manager. I'm going to fire the manager. So you fire the manager. And 3 to 6 months later, guess what? The new manager's got the same problems. This can be pretty frustrating. This can be pretty difficult to go, you know what? What is going on here? What am I doing wrong? That's a good question to ask yourself. Perhaps it's not the people per se. Maybe there is nothing going on with these people, that they're good people, but it's in the very way that you run your business that creates the result of your team fighting. That your inability to say, hey, this is how we do things. Here's the standard. This causes all sorts of problems, only one of which is what we've been discussing, that your team end up fighting, and you end up firing and hiring and firing and hiring repeatedly, only to see the same damn problem appear again and again. And you think during that onboarding process that your problems are solved. Like, great, I found the right person. And yet, given enough time, there it is once again. Is there some kind of option for this? Different? Well, imagine that you actually had team that knew what they were meant to do. They're like, right, yeah, that's the job. That's how we do things. Suddenly, all of these problems go away. People know what the standard is. And then it's a simple question of, hey, did you do it? Yes or no? And if you didn't, then let's change that. And if they continue to not do it, then you have a cause, a reason to say, hey, look, you're unable to follow the instructions. But up until that point, while it's all in people's heads, what you do in your business is in people's minds, you're not only going to have these team problems, but a host of other issues, including when you do fire, then they walk out with a bunch of IP that they know how to do stuff, and that just goes straight out the door. If you need help with this, if you're experiencing this, if you're at 5+ team and you recognize this, I want you to know that your capacity to fix this comes straight down to your profitability. Like, you can get your team working, doing twice as much work by getting this problem sorted, eliminate infighting between your team, and that money means you have to have maybe a third or a half less staff. How's your payroll? How's payroll? Imagine that was half and you were getting even more work. like definitely what you were doing right now, but potentially even more work done with half the staff, what could you do then? If that's something you're interested in, head over to systemio.dev. Thanks so much for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode.